बहुत ही एक अच्छी लेवल पे आ गए हैं, एक अच्छे इलेक्टिव में आए हैं जो कि एडवांस्ड सब्जेक्ट है, जो कि हमारे जितने भी इलेक्टिव हम ऑफर करते हैं, मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि दिस इज द डिमांड ऑफ प्रेजेंट टाइम, हाईली टेक्निकल, टेक्नोलॉजिकल एंड एडवांस्ड टेक्नोलॉजिकल सब्जेक्ट जिसको हम कह सकते हैं वो जियो इन्फॉर्मेटिक्स है। यदि आप इसको अच्छे से समझो तो ये सब्जेक्ट बहुत इजी है। यदि नहीं समझ पाओगे, यदि इसके ऊपर शुरुआत से आप ध्यान नहीं दोगे तो ये लास्ट में जाके आपको वाइंड अप करके खत्म कर देना पड़ेगा विद द एवरेज ग्रेड्स। तो आप यदि थोड़ी सी मेहनत डालोगे इस सब्जेक्ट में, थोड़ी सी, मैं बोलता हूँ रेगुलरली थोड़ा थोड़ा समझिए आप इस चीज को, जियो इन्फॉर्मेटिक्स को, और थोड़ा थोड़ा नॉलेज लीजिए। इसकी कोई स्टैंडर्ड वे ऑफ लर्निंग नहीं है अभी तक, ये इवॉल्विंग साइंस है, जैसे डेटा साइंसेस है, मशीन लर्निंग है, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस है। तो आप जब भी नेट पे देखेंगे तो आपको एक कोई सर्टेन इसकी डेफिनेशन नहीं मिलेगी, सर्टेन इसका फॉर्मेट नहीं मिलेगा। इस सब्जेक्ट को आप जितना अच्छे से समझ सकते हो वो आप ही समझ सकते हो कि आपकी फील्ड में जहां आप काम कर रहे हो इस टेक्नोलॉजी को कैसे यूज करें। मशीन लर्निंग, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस सिविल इंजीनियर्स अलग समझते हैं, मैकेनिकल इंजीनियर्स रोबोटिक्स में समझते हैं, आईटी के जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं या प्रोफेशनल्स हैं वो उसको डेवलप करने में विश्वास रखते हैं। तो आप इस बात को समझिए कि जो जियो इन्फॉर्मेटिक्स हम जिस एंगल से देख रहे हैं वो है सिविल इंजीनियरिंग, वो है सिविल इंजीनियरिंग एंड सिविल इंजीनियरिंग। यस, you could speak if something goes wrong. हाँ, तो तो आप जियो इन्फॉर्मेटिक्स जो सब्जेक्ट अभी इलेक्ट करके एज ए फर्स्ट चॉइस, नाउ ऑनवर्ड्स आई वुड से फर्स्ट चॉइस, तो इस सब्जेक्ट को आप कैसे हैंडल करेंगे लाइफ में। तो अभी आपके पास जियो इन्फॉर्मेटिक्स समझने के लिए कि हम इस जियो इन्फॉर्मेटिक्स में हाउ टू डील, हाउ टू रियली come up with the facts and the latest development in this area। तो इसको दो भागों में हम तोड़ देते हैं जियो इन्फॉर्मेटिक्स को। जो आपके स्लाइड आ रही है, जो स्क्रीन पे आपको स्लाइड दिख रही है, इसमें दो पार्ट है जियो इन्फॉर्मेटिक्स के। फर्स्ट है जियो, सेकेंड है इन्फॉर्मेटिक्स। जियो is like earth, the surface of earth where we get certain information, and informatics means dealing, a science dealing or technology dealing with sending, communicating information। तो मोस्टली जो ये ब्रांच है इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी की है, और surface of the earth where civil engineers really play their game upon। तो जहां पे हम अर्थ सरफेस पे हमारे स्ट्रक्चर्स क्रिएट करते हैं, लाइक हम एक डैम क्रिएट करते हैं, लाइक हम बुर्ज खलीफा क्रिएट करते हैं, लाइक हम वीजीसी का होल कैंपस क्रिएट करते हैं, लाइक हम गांधीनगर में सेक्रेटरिएट क्रिएट करते हैं। तो ये कहाँ है? अर्थ सरफेस पे है। तो अर्थ सरफेस की जो इंफॉर्मेशन है, जहां हमारे स्ट्रक्चर्स बन रहे हैं, उसकी इंफॉर्मेशन हम यदि इंफॉर्मेशन टेक्नोलॉजी के थ्रू कम्युनिकेट करें, तो ये जो सारी टेक्नोलॉजी को हम कंबाइन करें, तो इस टेक्नोलॉजी को जियो इन्फॉर्मेटिक्स हम कह सकते हैं। तो जियो इन्फॉर्मेटिक्स का मैं डिटेल में डिफरेंट स्लाइड्स के थ्रू आपको जानकारी देता रहूंगा। एक स्लाइड में जियो इन्फॉर्मेटिक्स खत्म नहीं होगा। आज इंट्रोडक्टरी लेक्चर है, तो मैं इसको आपको डिफरेंट एंगल से इंट्रोड्यूस करता रहूंगा जियो इन्फॉर्मेटिक्स को। तो जियो इन्फॉर्मेटिक्स की जो फर्स्ट स्लाइड में मेरी लिखी हुई है डिटेल कि जियो इन्फॉर्मेटिक्स इज द साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी विच डेवलप्स एंड यूजेस information science infrastructure to address the problems of geography, cartography, geosciences, and related branches of science and engineering. This is just one way of describing geoinformatics. There is no standard science definition in this. जैसे कोई एक बंदा यूज करता है या एक इंजीनियर यूज करता है, एक डिसिप्लिन का इंजीनियर यूज करता है, उसको इससे डिफाइन करता है। दूसरा, यदि आर्ट एरिया से कोई प्रोफेशनल है तो वो अपनी एंगल से इस जियो इन्फॉर्मेटिक्स को डिफाइन करेगा कि दिस इज एन आर्ट ऑफ डिपिक्टिंग, विजुअलाइजिंग द थिंग्स ऑन ए स्क्रीन। तो वो एक वे ऑफ थिंकिंग हो गया। तो आपको ये दिमाग अभी खुला रख लेना है कि जियो इन्फॉर्मेटिक्स इज नॉट ए फिक्स सेट ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन। इंफॉर्मेशन इज देयर, नाउ वी इंटरप्रेट इट। interpreted in a way which is useful to civil engineering projects. So I go with this learning to next slide, that how it can be understood well. So this second slide, geoinformatics is the science that deals with following aspects of geoinformation. And here the aspects are like acquisition of information about geo. That in first I explained that this is geo and informatics. Geography or surface of the earth and information technology. The second, here what I say, that I acquire the information about the earth, then I store it, process it, then I present in a way that it could be understood by many, and then I disseminate it through information technology. So where we are after the dissemination, users are also the civil engineers for different projects, but we take use of information technology here to disseminate the data. This acquisition, storage, processing, presentation, and dissemination of the information of the data. What these data, information, knowledge, and wisdom, I'll show you one more slide here. That the in the last slide I explained that the information or data we capture, then the data we capture through instruments, like we go with the total station in the field and capture the land surface undulations through the total station or theodolite or levels different, or say measuring instruments. So that data, or even through the satellite, data can be captured through the satellite of whole area. So the data, what is it? You look at this point, that individual facts, figures, signals, and measurements. This is data. They are not meaningful to us. And this is captured that this particular point is having elevation of, say, uh, 800 meter above the mean sea level. So this is just a fact, that there is not much information. If you say about the mean sea level, then it makes sense. As some information is going in your mind, that a level is quite high than the mean sea level, and what could be planned about it. So data, when we organize, then if we make structured in format, categorize the data, then this become a useful information. Like in satellite images, when you capture the data from top, you take an image from the satellite sensors, then what it capture whatever is available on the surface, like certain buildings, then there are roads, then there are ponds, then there are vehicular traffic, then people moving around, then city centers, all kind of data is there in one image. Then you have to cluster them, that these are the houses, this is the agriculture area, these are the fields. So that data become information when you classify, when you make structured in certain format. Then you also condense the redundant data, you remove that, the repeatedly occurring data you remove, and certain calculation you also perform on the data to make it more informative. Okay, then the third level, if I go up, the first phase was data we capture, then the information data becomes information, then it gets converted into knowledge. Knowledge, here you look at knowledge, what is? You generate idea, you have a learning, you have a notion that the direction of flow of this river is in this direction. You create a concept that if wind velocities are more than, say, 20 kmph, then we should be very much careful, or 30 kmph we should be like give warning signals. So there are concept generation from the knowledge. So data becomes information after processing, and then we create concept, synthesize this, and it knowledge also give us comparison between different set of data, and it can be discussed, it can be taken into. So knowledge, is a higher level of format of data or the information which has been converted now into knowledge. Now, at the end, from the data, what we need is that creative wisdom. Wisdom means that decision making. When we say that politicians are not taking good decisions, India has gone through lockdown. So this was a wisdom or not a wisdom, but decision was taken. So wisdom come from the knowledge. Knowledge come from the information. Information come from the data. So the fuel here in the wisdom of your wisdom is data. Data you get from anywhere. Through your eyes you could capture data. Through your ear you could capture data. Through your sensory skins you could sense certain things that is hot or cold like that. So this is data going into. If it is burning too much, then you could say it's a fire or say a hot object touching you. So that is what you are getting. Then you convert, your brain converts into information, knowledge, and your wisdom takes a decision. So wisdom here, understanding, integration, application, reflection, actionable, accumulated, principles, patterns, decision making. Decision making is the final word used here. You look at. So in nutshell, you cannot keep all this terminology in your mind. Keep these four in your mind that when you capture the data, it becomes information. Information. When you do more thinking on that information, when you compare with certain things, when you synthesize in your mind, then that becomes like a knowledge that we say that a person is knowledgeable. And then finally, if you are such a knowledgeable person, then with a certain degree of this practice of that discussion, through discussion, what could you would be enabled, you would be in position to take decisions. You could apply that knowledge into field. Then if it is in a right manner, then it is called a wisdom, that a person is wise person. So here onto the right side, this set a context, this set a meaning to data, and knowledge gives insight to the wisdom. You look at these arrows also onto the left side. So decision making bluntly is a risk. Decision making bluntly is a risk, but with this you could take a calculated risk. You could, I think I'm audible to all. Please write okay if yes. If I'm audible, write okay in the chat. Fine, thank you. Uh, uh, so I'm going to the previous slide just to understand what we have seen. That the geoinformatics is about Earth surface and information technology combining together to make certain relevant thing about the projects. When you are say on certain projects, you are recruited, you are owning some project, then how to go ahead with. So this is basically geoinformatics is an enabler. It's a making your decision. A seventh semester, if you are studying, means you are capturing whole lot thing into your mind. Civil engineering of the right from the semester 1 to 6, and then you are synthesizing that data and information and knowledge. Now you are making certain decision whether to do busy to start your own venture, go for a startup, or say go abroad for higher studies, or take up into IITs. So this data, information, knowledge, and wisdom, this series, many a times we also compare it with holistic lifestyle, wherein what we do, the physical quotient we say, then our body should be strong. Second, we say IQ, our intellectual quotient should be strong. Third is EQ, say emotional quotient should be strong. And fourth, what we say that wisdom, how the wisdom would come if we contribute to the society. So these all spiritual quotientages, when we give back to society, that is spiritual quotient. So if we say PQ, IQ, EQ, and SQ, likewise in the data, data becomes information, information become knowledge, knowledge become wisdom. Most of the professionals, those who are working, they are working in these two segments. These are the information, data, and information. They could not deduce knowledge and wisdom out of the given circumstances. So what we need to do that while studying geoinformatics, we should study it in a manner that we capture data, we capture information. It's a very time consuming. You look at the base is broad here. Of the info, data is the broadest, then the information is broad, then knowledge and going, wisdom is very narrow. So the people who are reaching to that level are very less. Data consumes lot of time, information consumes lesser time, knowledge less, and wisdom is least time consuming. But to reach to that level, you should go through each and every time factor here. That data processing, you should know that these data exist. If you don't know the data about data, that which data exists in civil engineering, it's like without that, wisdom won't appear to you. Data means you are really working hard, you are understanding, you are going through the process. Like in a rainfall hydrology, if you do not understand the rain minute by minute, hour by hour, that how this is happening, then how flood occurs is the wisdom. If you could just deduce that from the data of rainfall, it is precipitating at a time, and then you convert it into information, then knowledge, and then wisdom. From the data rainfall, if you could deduce that flood would occur to Ahmedabad city, then that is wisdom. For that, you need to understand precipitation, rainfall pattern, amount of rainfall intensity, then the time duration for it is going to fall onto the Ahmedabad city or around it, so which could lead to the flooding situation. So this is one way of thinking geoinformatics. Definitely, this is an application of geoinformatics to understand flood. If it is flood, then where structure should be built, that is what is again a higher level of decision making. First, we are making a decision that it would be flooded in 20 years because of the climate change scenario, that in 20 years, by 2030 or 2040, the Ahmedabad city would be flooded because of the heavy rain situations. So for that, what protection should be taken? So that kind of decision taken at this juncture is the like we are taking what would happen in the future. So this this science, geoinformatics, through data processing, through information, we create knowledge, we become more wiser. Again, I explain you geoinformatics from different angle. You could understand with one way or the other, but the basic feel of geoinformatics should, you should ingrain in your body that what is the geography, what is the geo informatics, how information technology is used in this, and why we say this science, geoinformatics, is connected with machine learning. This is connected with the uh, artificial intelligence, and how this geoinformatics is directly a big use at data science. Rather, I would say this was the beginning of data science, where we had lot of data about the geography, like in survey, uh, geographical survey of India. You might have uh, understood this survey of India headquartered in Mount Abu, and it is like during British era that they have started creating maps for to mark different routes and have their own business strategy. So that data was large, huge, and that is about the Earth's surface. And now we are bringing that information here onto this digital platform. Geoinformatics is a digital platform, but we people, the civil engineers, have been using and processing data in one way or other. Now this is a digital platform for you to process civil engineering uh, data information on uh, understanding through this subject. Now let's understand this, what it is, the different aspects of geoinformatics. The first circle sphere represents geospatial analysis and modeling. Developing, these are not all the things we are going to do. This is just introduction lecture. So terminology, I'm making you more comfortable that these terminology are connected. So in today or in future, if you come across certain terminology, you could relate yourself with and that what you are studying is part of all these domains. So first is geospatial analysis and modeling. Geospatial means space in which geography having its expanse. Like if I say this is space, you say x, y, z, three dimension, you could divide it. So this dimension, if you draw it on paper, then they are two dimensional, but this span, space. So this space, if you capture the data, geospatial analysis and modeling I said just that in 2030 or 2040, if we could do certain that there would be a requirement of construction of dam around city of Ahmedabad to protect it from floods. So that is modeling we are doing. We are learning now to predict, to understand the future. We are processing past in this time junction to understand the futuristic scene. So that is what is the modeling. Geospatial analysis and modeling is the one sphere. Developing geospatial databases, that every data we need. Data is needed to predict or forecast the future scene, to have a decision making, perfect decision making. So that near future or the far future, both are happy. We are happy in both the dimensions. So that is developing geospatial database, information system design, human computer interaction is the fourth sphere, and this all leads to geo computation and geo visualization. Then when database is divided, the second sphere you look at here, this is divided into, you look at my arrow, the developing geospatial databases is like two portions, major portion, remote sensing, images and GIS. Now, what this aspects of geoinformation, geoinformatics? Remotely sense data is going, we need developing geospatial database, yeah, or databases. So remote sensing is a branch where we capture large huge amount of data through a single exposure of sensor mounted on the satellite. So there are specific satellites for remote sensing which capture the earth's surface data. They are far above in the space, and through their exposures, sensor capture the data. We capture that information. We capture the data and convert that into information. That information, geographic information system, GIS, is the geographic information system. In geoinformatics, geo is also geographic or geography, and geosurface and informatics is the information science or information technology, informatics. So what we are understanding here, that the databases are captured here through remote sensing or different survey methods or any other method wherein we are capturing data like land surveys, air surveys or any kind of other surveys can be done to capture the data, and the data is going. Sometimes we capture going through sending teams in the field, and sometimes the already captured data we utilize, and sometimes we use the technology like remote sensing, and then we use that data. GIS is a data processing tool and data visualization tool. I said data is one form, then to make it meaningful, that a knowledge, information and knowledge, GIS is used. GIS is also called a decision support system. Are you getting my point? If it is, yeah, if you are comfortable and you are with me, I have explained 4 levels of understanding about geoinformatics: the data, then the information, then the knowledge, and then the wisdom. Now, remote sensing is at primary level where data is captured. Then we need to process it. We have to make structured formats of the data. Then what we do, we capture data through remote sensing or different survey methods. We take it to the GIS platform. These are softwares available. We are not creating software, but who? They are already available. We just give input into this software and then take output, but understanding that what happens in between input and output is also necessary so that our outputs are correct. Are you getting this? So this is how GIS and remote sensing. There is also one third component which has not been brought into here. Nowadays, GPS is creating a very huge impact on creation of database. So you could say developing geospatial database here, this arrow you look at, this arrow, this should be divided into three. Earlier, GPS was very minutely contributing data into the geospatial technology, but nowadays use of GPS, global positioning system, it's a navigation system, GPS, and likewise there are many navigation system. India has its own, Russia has its own, China has its own. GPS is an American navigation system. So this navigation system also is a part of major surveys capturing data. Survey, you do not only relate to chain and compass surveys. Survey is a very large area, large domain wherein the data processing is done, and then meaningful aspects are basically this. If you live beside the mobile technology and this computer technology, then data sciences are playing a major impact on business and their development. So here the third format of capturing data is GPS. So GPS we also study here that what GPS and how it works and how the data is captured, and the same data will go into this GIS format. GIS is basically processing that converts the raw data into structured formats, and then we deduce certain knowledge, and this enable us to take a right decision, help us in take a judicious decision. So that is the meaning of these three sciences: remote sensing, these technologies. These are also called tools. Tools, in essence, they are just you install them on your computer and then start playing with. So it is a tool, like tool you are playing with. It's a screwdriver for someone mechanic to fix the screw. Likewise, GIS is also a kind of tool wherein you bring data, process it, and take the data, nothing else. GPS is a technology where we take it, go with the mark, we go with the equipment. GPS is an equipment. We go with it in the